Welcome to the Chapter 1 podcast, your inside look at the people powering Charlotte's business scene. Real entrepreneurs, real stories right here in the Queen City. We're here today with Brooke Ross of Ross Rehab and Performance. Am I getting that right?
Yes, you got it right.
And Brooke, we're excited to have you on the show. Let's start at Chapter 1. How did you find your way to Charlotte?
It was all due to my husband's job, actually. His job brought us here, but his family's here, and we would always visit the Lake Norman area, and we fell in love with it. So
Awesome. All right, so let's rewind to before that. Where did you grow up?
Greenville, South Carolina.
Oh, okay, so not super far from here.
Not too far.
So what was growing up life like? Like, how transition me from you growing up life, what that looked like, to into your first job.
So kind of all over the place. So starting in Greenville, South Carolina, it was great to grow up there. Honestly, great lifestyle. Very active as well. Grew up in sports, cheerleading, running, and then from there went to college at University of South Carolina in Columbia, and then went to grad school in Wheeling, West Virginia. Nothing really was there, so that was fun, but it was good for studying. But right after grad school, came back, worked in Greenville, South Carolina for a little bit longer, probably about 6 months or so. And then my husband's job moved us to Alabama. We worked in Alabama for a little bit, about a year. And then after Alabama, we found ourselves in Columbia, South Carolina for about the next 4 to 5 years. And then we moved to Lake Norman.
And so when you moved to Lake Norman, was it like, did you immediately start Ross Rehab, or did that take some time?
Yes. So I was in the corporate physical therapy world for the past 5 years. And then once we moved to Lake Norman, I was like, all right, we're going to start on my own full time and see what happens. But I originally started it when I was in Columbia. That was kind of my side gig. I started developing an app. It was more like a fitness app at the time, and then turned it into more physical therapy based and rehab for my clients. And started that when I was in Columbia, saw some patients on the side at home while I was still working in the corporate physical therapy world, and then went full-time when we moved here.
Awesome. So Ross Rehab and Performance, tell me a little bit about what that is. Like, what is it exactly that you do?
Yes. So I'm a very fitness-forward physical therapist. So my goal is to treat people one-on-one. So I constantly am trying to get people back to beyond baseline. So whenever they come see me, typically they get injured, and that they got injured at baseline. So my goal is to get them beyond that point, because in the traditional physical therapy world, the physical therapist usually only has time to get the patient out of pain, but then insurance restrictions, and then that whole cycle repeats and repeats. So my goal is to get people pain-free, long-term, and stay active.
Awesome. So what makes you a little bit more unique than other therapists and companies that are doing rehab type stuff?
I think the biggest thing that makes me stand out is my goal is to find the root cause of what's going on, not just treating the symptoms, and then fix the root cause and prevent it from coming back.
Nice. So you started this when you moved here, which is about 5 years ago?
We moved here last year.
Last year. Okay.
Yes.
All right. Timeline was off. All right.
Yes.
So you moved here last year, so it was a relatively new company.
Yes.
So tell me about these early stages. How has marketing gone for you right now?
Yeah, it's been getting better. So
Yeah.
first moving here, don't know anybody. So my husband knew some people, but I did not know anybody. So it was kind of starting from scratch. But a lot of marketing came from me doing events in gyms and different wellness studios, doing pop-ups, injury screens, which I still to this day. And it's just fun too, because I meet people through it as well. But I started out doing concierge physical therapy at first. I would go to people's houses, and that was great. And then I was getting busy to the point where I was like, I can only see, 3 to 4 patients an hour or a day because of traveling, and traffic around here is not fun. So that's when I found a clinic in Davidson. So now I'm in a little small co-working space, but I have a squat rack and everything in there, and it's been fantastic. But a lot of the marketing is just me going out in the community and meeting people and building relationships.
Nice. So what is you said you have a squat rack, so now I got to ask follow-up questions. I think rehab, and I guess in my head, I'm just picturing like severe injuries and people are just kind of like walking around and doing little things. Is that am I picturing that wrong? Are there actual like workouts? Are you taking people through training? Like, how does it look?
Yes, so I'm very performance-based.
Okay.
Basically, all my patients, they're on the table maybe the first day when I'm trying to figure out what's going on and figure out that root cause. And we're uplifting weights because I want to get them back to what they were doing. So if they were a runner, sometimes they don't lift weights, they just run. So my goal is to get them lifting weights and getting them stronger so they can tolerate that and have the capacity to participate in their sport.
Nice. So, you've been doing this, you've owned this company for about a year, but
Yes.
you've kind of been in this field for a little while now.
Yes.
What is it that you love most about what you're doing now?
Honestly, how probably people achieving their goals, actually getting text from my patients with their PR that they got in the race, just seeing them achieve what they didn't think they were going to ever achieve again is amazing.
So if I was a viewer and I'm like, oh, physical therapy, like I hurt everywhere, like most people do, because aging always wins. Everybody's always getting older. That you can't avoid that. What are some like just standard tips for people that you're like, everybody does this wrong? Like everybody comes in and you're like, hey, you got to stop, fill in the blank, whatever.
Yes. Probably number one thing, stop stretching too much. Everybody
Really?
always gets.
I do that all the time.
It's not a bad
Continue.
thing.
Sorry,
It's not a bad thing.
Okay.
But you want to add in strengthening. That's going to be the best way to get injury-free long-term for sure. And then biggest thing is don't ignore the early aches and pains. When you feel that, it's your body telling you that there's something going on.
Okay. So I work out a lot, right? So
Yep.
I lift weights at the gym or whatever. And like the left side of my back, there's just been a knot in the middle of it for like, I don't know what to do. I stretch for like 15 minutes a day after all my workouts. Why is it not going away?
Because you got to find the root cause to figure out, all right, what's going on. So sometimes, a stretch can help alleviate it temporarily, but it's not
Sure.
going to fix it long term to try to figure out why is that left side aggravating you. Is it a muscle imbalance, or is it just the way that you're lifting wrong, or it really just depends. I have to kind of see what's going on. But finding the root cause too will be the biggest thing, and then going from there.
Okay. All right. So maybe there's a follow-up hangout for the two of us. So tell me about what the process looks like. If I was an interested party and I was like, okay, well, look, this is, I'm hurting. Like, I would love to get in contact with you. What does the process look like from, they get in contact with you to where they're actually like doing things, like doing exercises and stuff?
Yes, absolutely. First thing, I always hop on a discovery call. Usually it's about 15, 20 minutes, and I'm kind of figuring out what's going on. What have you tried in the past? Kind of figure out what their goals are. And then from there, if we're a good fit to work together, then we go from there and do an initial evaluation. And during that initial evaluation, it's about an hour and a half long, sometimes hour and 15 minutes, depending on everything that's going on. But the biggest thing is I take them through a whole functional movement assessment, seeing what is causing the pain, whether it's, muscle imbalance or, more of a movement mechanics type thing. And then from there, we go through some manual therapy to help ease the pain, try to get things to calm down, such as dry needling or cupping. And then we always follow up with some kind of exercise.
Awesome. So for you, if you were to talk to, I know that you're kind of in those earlier stages, but for another entrepreneur that's watching this and thinking like, venturing out and starting my own thing, like all of that sounds intimidating. What are a couple tips that you could give that person that's watching right now as far as like, I haven't ventured out into those waters?
Biggest thing is you don't have to have everything together right away. Just start. Honestly, when I was first starting, I was trying to get my website perfect and was trying to get my app working perfect. I'm like, you know what? There's no right time to start this. Just start now. Figure out the behind the scenes as you go.
Yeah. So for you, when you think about your clients, what would you say is like the number one thing that you're accomplishing for your clients, or like one of the bigger things you're accomplishing for your clients?
So that they can do the things that they want to do. For instance, like if I'm treating a runner or a weightlifter, like if they can't do something, my goal is to get them to do that as soon as possible.
So you've been in Charlotte for only a year.
Yes.
So talk to me a little bit about the Charlotte area. So like, what are some of your favorite parts about Charlotte?
Honestly, the active community. Everybody is so active, out walking, running. That's probably my favorite part. Is it's such a walkable community. And honestly, the community too, with people who are just trying to help you.
Yeah.
That's another really big thing is.
Does it change like what you do as far as like, I know that you've only owned this company since you've been here in Charlotte, but thinking about the other places that you've been, what are the changes? Like, what are the different things that you would have faced in those different areas? Is there like a different thing that's happening here in Charlotte? We're like, people in Charlotte work out too much and they're all hurting in this way. And over here, they're just more old. And what did that look like for you?
It's different in Charlotte because, I have my own company and I'm with those active people. So I'm seeing it more and I'm seeing more of those active population than I was in Columbia. Columbia, I was treating all youth and like probably middle school, high school athletes. It was awesome, but I wasn't in the active adult really community as much. So I didn't really see active adults as much as I did in Charlotte. So that's probably the biggest difference. Yeah.
Do you have a target market as far as like are your clients kind of all over the spectrum age wise?
Kind of. I mean, I do see some youth athletes too. I mean, my youngest right now is probably 15 and my oldest is probably 65. So
Okay.
good range, but typically, like my biggest probably clientele is runners right now.
Okay.
A lot of runners and weightlifters.
And what's the thing with runners that they're running into? What's their big problem?
They're not strength training.
They've got to start lifting weights.
Yes, overuse injuries for sure.
So for a 65, my dad is I should know his exact age. I think he's 65 actually. He could be 66 now. Active guy, likes to play pickleball, but he's definitely getting older.
Yeah.
What are a couple tips for my dad watching this show?
Probably just getting into the gym, doing more strength training as much as he can. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, don't go strength training 5 or 6 days a week, then you're gonna hurt. But easing into it, starting out 2 to 3 times a week, lifting weights, and then trying to find a routine that he likes to do, that he enjoys, because he wants to do something that he enjoys too. That's the biggest thing is
Sure.
whatever they enjoy, do, but add in strength training.
For sure. So how can people find you if people are watching and they're interested in getting in contact with you or visiting where you're at? How does that work?
They can reach out with either on my website, rossrehabandperformance.com, or through my Instagram, rossrehab.dpt. That's probably has all my contact information is my website and my Instagram.
Awesome. Well, Brooke, thank you for being on with us. Thank you so much. This has been Brooke Ross with Ross Rehab and Performance, and we are the Chapter 1 podcast.